And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coffin Cast number 13. This is Brad the Impaler. I've got Pat with me. Thank you for joining me, Guy.
Thank you for having me.
So, what do you think about this whole UC Berkeley thing?
Well, that's pretty outrageous. The man never even got a chance to speak, and they're still freaking out.
Yeah.
Which is funny that it's Antifa. The anti-fascist community will silence you with violence.
Right. Yeah, that's something I've been noticing. I mean, I've been blown away by how violent these leftists are getting when they're supposed to be the ones that are well, at the same time they're screaming your words are violence. Like, well, you're doing actual violence.
Yeah, I know it's things. So you have the right to hurt me physically. Like, it doesn't equate.
Because I say mean things, yeah. So, a little bit of a side topic here. I just watched Lacey Green's new video. Oh, I fucking hate her. Anyway, I just watched Lacey Green's new video, and she said that it takes her months to make one of her sex positive fucking videos. And I'm like, that's really sad that it takes you months to put together something that I tear down in like 15 minutes.
What's sad is it takes her months to find a hooker that'll have her, so she has experience.
I just don't understand it. I really don't. Anyway, so I wanted to go over kind of an article I found here. So it's an article on Fox News. It says Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos said Wednesday that the riot that canceled his planned speech at the University of California, Berkeley was, quote, heavily ironic and very, I think, self-defeating for the social justice left, end quote. Yiannopoulos' planned talk was scrapped after violent protesters hurled smoke bombs, broke windows, and started a bonfire outside the student union where he was to appear. Quote, no one's safety is at risk from different opinions, end quote, Yiannopoulos told Tucker Carlson tonight in a phone interview. No one's physical safety is endangered by political ideas from a speaker on campus. But universities have sort of allowed this stuff to happen, and even in some cases encouraged it.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that's what drives me crazy the most is the fact that a college is supposed to be a place for free exchange of ideas.
Exactly. That's
love them and come out with the best.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, as a college student, it just drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah. And we saw with one of the protests against Milo that even like the staff will arrange these protests against him speaking there.
Yes. They've been, in fact, wasn't it Harvard, I think, that released that statement just the other day? I forget exactly what it said, but it was something to the effect of we have to fight Trump on every level. Yeah.
And it's just, to me, you know, you've got these ungrateful millennial shitwads, and they're going and they're starting fires. They're launching fireworks at their school, and it's just appalling to me that this type of lawlessness is allowed in the name of social justice. It's retarded.
Well, I'm a college student, and I work 2 jobs to pay my rent and my bills and buy all of my books and everything. So I can only assume by the fact that none of these people had to be at work or in class that they're pretty well off.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't understand what they're even fighting for. They have it better than the people oppressing them.
I don't think they even know what they're fighting for. I mean, we saw that with the Trump marches. The one, especially the women's march. You saw protesters holding up signs saying things like, "If men get free razors, we need to have free tampons, and I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Yeah, it makes zero sense. I've had to pay for every razor I've ever bought.
I'd like to know where to sign up to get these free razors. That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, they don't exist. It's all in their fucking head. Maybe in prison. I think you might get free razors there.
Right. And I'm sure women get free tampons in prison too.
Yeah. And I probably don't want them bleeding all over everything.
Exactly. Oh, speaking of bleeding, Lacey Green says that's why she hasn't been around. She's been having some medical issues, which include her having been bleeding for over a month. So
I think that's called karma.
I think that is called like perfect. I mean, I've always suspected that Lacey Green was bleeding just a little bit too much.
Maybe she should stop trying to treat it and embrace it. I thought that's what they were all about.
I thought that's what she was doing. Okay, so we continue with the article, and it continues with a quote by Yiannopoulos. It says, I annoy the feminists and the Black Lives Matter guys probably almost as much as Trump does, certainly on college campuses. So they go for the next best thing. They go for the person they think they can scare. Well, they don't scare me. I will continue to give college talks until the day I drop dead.
I would really like to attend one.
Hell yeah. I mean, that would be amazing. I mean, you'll probably get punched like 3 or 4 times, but
It's not to brag, but I'm a pretty decent sized fellow.
yeah. Let's see. Yiannopoulos has made remarks in the past that have been criticized as racist, misogynist, and anti-Muslim. Of his opponents, Milo said, they never want to debate because they're scared of losing. They don't have the facts on their side, and for 30 years, the left has been able to bully people into silence by name-calling, and they've forgotten how to argue. That is so true. That is so true.
And I disagree with Milo on a lot, but he has 2 things going for him. He keeps the discussion open, and he's willing to discuss anything.
Exactly. And he's not afraid to say exactly how he feels. We see a lot with these public debates and stuff like that. You see this kind of, I don't know how best to describe, but this underlying thing where, oh well, you know you can't just rip the person apart. Well, if you can, then do it. And that's something.
It's a fear. It's a total fear because in today's society, one slip of the tongue, you can say something you don't even actually mean. You can make an off-color joke, and that is your entire career. The 8 years, exactly. The 10 years, however long you spent in college to get your degree is absolutely worthless now.
And all the money. Yes. And it's you know, we saw it with like Paula Deen, who was like at the height of her career. She was doing really well. She made great recipes. Everything was great. And then a phone conversation or something came up where she had, you know, said the N-word, which she had said nigger. And
yeah,
it's just like her. And then her career was ruined. Her career was ruined over the use of the word. And it's just,
here's my thing. I can understand if some people choose not to watch her after that.
Right.
But the fact is, she was teaching you to cook. No matter what else she does with the rest of her life, if she's teaching you to cook, she is doing her job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, if somebody has a skill and I completely fucking hate the person, but I want this skill, then I'm going to suck it up and learn from them. I can keep politics separate from my interests.
Right. And, you know, you know, I think that's pretty much what ruined her career was people chose to stop watching her. But the thing is they didn't choose that. They were told to, basically, by the media. Well, if you support this woman, you're
what
racist.
I was getting at.
Yeah. If you support this woman, you're racist.
That's, people don't have original thoughts anymore. They're told what to think, and if they don't think that, then they're made to feel guilty for not thinking that.
And this is the kind of thing that we're kind of trying to take a stand against with the whole FreeKekistan thing. It's this kind of thing, this where free thought is a forgotten culture.
Yeah, it's a dead language.
It is. It really is. And we see that so often. Anytime anyone even just steps their little toe over that line, they're lynched publicly. Just fucking lynched.
And the lynching is celebrated. That's the worst part. It's absolutely celebrated.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the article continues, continuing with his quote. UC Berkeley condemns in the strongest possible terms the actions of individuals who invaded the campus, infiltrated a crowd of peaceful students, and used violent tactics to close down the event. We deeply regret that the violence unleashed by this group undermined the First Amendment rights of the speaker, as well as those who came to lawfully assemble and protest his presence. Oh, I'm sorry. This was the university spokesman, Dan Mogulof.
Mogulof, that's an interesting name.
It is an interesting name. So I hate the language there. We deeply regret that the violence unleashed by this group undermined First Amendment rights of the speaker. Deeply regret. How about you condemn that action? Instead of saying that you deeply regret that, say you condemn that kind of action on your campus.
I would like to see them reschedule it, is what I would like to see.
Definitely. But I mean, we also need to see them say something instead of we deeply regret. Say, I condemn those actions. Like when I found out that the Quebec shooter, was a viewer of anti-feminist YouTubers, I had to come immediately out on Twitter and say, I condemn this kind of hateful action. Whether you believe the same things I believe or not, it is not right for you to go out there and cause violence. That's the reason the whole reason anti-feminist YouTube skeptic channels are around is so that you don't feel the need to go into violence, so that you can see that you are being represented, and so that you can actually hear a conversation take place instead of resorting to that violence. That's the whole reason we're supposed to be here. And it's just appalling to me that someone would take this a step farther and go, well, now we need to use violence to make that point. You know what I mean?
Well, violence is always the first choice of people who ran out of arguments.
Yeah, I mean, a cornered animal, even verbally, is going to react violently. I mean, if they're not in control of their fucking emotions, which it seems like none of these millennials are. They're just not in control of their emotions at all, and it turns into this visceral type of primal violence, and it's really sad that we've gotten to that point, and we have conditioned them to react this way through protecting them from violence and from differing opinions their entire life.
Yes, this is I don't know who said it first, but whoever did said it best when they said this is the first generation of everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Whenever the world stops handing them things, they don't understand why. Whenever people start valuing productivity and skills, they don't understand why that they're not special anymore.
Right. They can't. And when you say, I want to kind of put this point across, when you say that they can't imagine, they literally cannot deal with it. Their mental state has been made as such so that they cannot deal with differing opinions without reacting with a knee-jerk reaction, and usually with violence.
They don't know how to process it. They've never been told no. They're the hope generation, the everything's good, we're going to change the world generation. And you put one little roadblock in their way and they don't know how to get around it.
I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I'm a millennial myself. I remember when I was growing up, my parents were, I wouldn't say they were super strict compared to some other parents, but they were conservative. And they did shelter a little bit. My childhood, but I saw a lot where when other parents would be talking to me, oh, well, your mom shouldn't tell you no as much. I don't know why your mom doesn't let you do this or that, or your mom and dad are this or that, and it gets to the point where, and I think it affected the way I treated my parents, number one, and it affected the way that I saw reality. Because while my parents were raising me the right way, everybody else who was raising their children the wrong way were filling my head with the thoughts that you kind of see from millennials nowadays. You shouldn't be told no. If you don't get what you want, argue for it. You're supposed to, and if that doesn't work, then you have to take other actions. You can't be told no. Don't be told no. Blah 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 blah. And it's appalling to me. It's appalling to me that that this is the way some of these people were raised, because I saw the way it affected me just a little bit that I was getting from outside influences. But we're seeing that this is the way a lot of these millennials are raised. They weren't told no. They don't know how to deal with no. And then when they are told no, the fucking things start burning. It's just grown up temper tantrums. That's all it is.
That's exactly what it is. And then you've got the liberal media who just pushes narrative after narrative trying to get their agenda through. And they give zero fucks about the damage that they're doing. Right.
And the thing is, you know, this isn't a one-off incident. This is something, the kind of protests that are sparking violence have been constant since Trump came into office. And before then, they were increasing in number.
Yeah, I was about to say, they were kicking off real good before he even hit office.
Right, right.
I would say that the first indication that we were headed down this path started with, I'll say Black Lives Matter, but it was probably before them, whenever the police shootings started happening. And people's response was, instead of the police, we have a problem within the police, we should try to fix it together. The problem is white police and how racist they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And this is coming from a guy who's been to jail a lot of times. In fact, in my home county, I would probably get pulled over just on principle.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been in jail a few times myself, but and I mean, you can tell that there are some officers that are racially insensitive, legitimately legitimately racist individuals.
Yeah, you won't catch me arguing that there's not racist people. Right. I don't think there's racist institutions anymore.
Right, exactly.
There's definitely racist people, and the way to deal with that is for everybody to be on the same page and deal with it. But if you just keep constantly dividing everybody, then nobody has an interest in solving the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm pro police, and if I get a cop behind me, if I'm completely legal and doing everything perfectly right under the law, I get nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that guy still.
Yeah.
And but I'm still pro police because I understand the function they serve and the fact that we need them. So the solution isn't to alienate them. It's to try to see what we can do with them.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing is if we just alienate and we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I need to make this point. If your decision is to alienate the police as a whole and say the police as a whole are the problem, then you're not going to get cooperation from the police as a whole to root out the bad ones, to root out the actual racists, to call out the actual racism when it's there. Because you know that the moment that makes the news, your whole department's going to be called racist. All of your police brothers and sisters will be called racist because we found one guy.
Exactly.
But going back along the line of these protests, as I was saying, this is something that we've seen constantly in constant motion since Trump has taken office, and they just can't deal with the world changing in a way, and it's changing fast. I will give them that. If you're not paying attention to what an executive order is, if you're not paying attention to what it takes to make an executive order, and if you're not paying attention to the actual words this man is speaking, then yes, I can see how very terrified and frightened you would be for your future. But you need to actually listen to your enemy. This is why I listen to my enemy. You listen to your enemy to see if it's an actual threat or if it's just something you need to publicly say, well, let's not do that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. See, liberals get right up to the point of listening, but then they hear what they want to hear. Say, this is a cup of coffee, and somehow tomorrow it's going to be that this is a whites only cup of coffee.
Right. And it's gotten to this point where it's really, really bad. It's gotten to this point where nobody can do anything whatsoever without it being called out as some kind of, if you're in favor of a move Trump made, your company's getting boycotted. Even if the move isn't even as controversial as the media is making it seem, but and you only have to take like 2 minutes to research it, literally 2 minutes to find out what it takes to make an executive order. But you have these people going ballistic and supporting an attorney general who doesn't want to uphold the law that was lawfully put into place. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people's heads? I just simply can't understand their mentality. I can't.
Well, that's something else that drives me nuts. In the information era, in the age where literally every scrap of information ever gathered is at your fingertips, people can't take 5 minutes to figure out what they're talking about.
Right. And it blows my mind is what it does, because when I hear something, I look at a headline and it makes me unhappy. I'm like, oh shit, this headline means we're fucked. And then I read the article, just the first paragraph of the article, where they basically just explain to you that the headline was to catch your attention, and it's not even that bad.
Yes, that's what it is. It's sensational news. Like instead of reporting the news to you, we're trying to entertain you like a sitcom.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it needs to stop. And as much as I hate labeling the press as the opposition party, because that's kind of Hitlerian territory, they've earned that title. They really have.
I'm not a Nazi in the slightest, but it's what they've become. Like,
right, exactly.
They're creating the Hitler-esque place, and I mean it's happening. Instead of Hitler doing it, it's the Jews doing it this time. I mean the Jews as a metaphor, not literal Jews, before people start calling me anti-Semitic, but But you know what I'm saying? Like they're building the Hitlerian state themselves this time.
Right, without the support of the government that's in power.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. They want to be oppressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because oppression is ratings. Oppression is when you're fighting it. If you make up your oppression and then you fight against that oppression, you're a hero, and people love being heroes.
Everybody is Don Quixote.
Right, chasing after their windmill.
Yes.
It's just, I'm not very very often without words. I'm a person who is full of thoughts and opinions. But when I was watching just the violence that was occurring with the UC Berkeley riots and the violence that was occurring with the Washington D.C. protests on Inauguration Day and the violence that was occurring during the Women's March the next day at Washington D.C. Yet there was no violence when the pro-lifers were marching. How about that?
Yes, that's. Oh, well, we keep discussing a lot of things that drive me nuts. Like
That's what
the most,
bro.
the most effective protests of all time have been peaceful. Like violent protests are the most least productive thing on earth. Anybody who has the slightest inkling of sociology can tell you that you will get further being calm than acting insane.
Exactly. You see, I took psychology. I was in college for psychology for about a year. I passed my first year, and then I needed to take care of my family, so I couldn't really go further in there. But one of the first things we were taught was that everybody sees the world through a different lens. Everybody has a certain way. Like if I look outside the window and you look outside the window, and then we both describe the scene that we see, we're going to be describing the scene in entirely different ways, right? So if I look outside and I see that there's nobody out there, I'll look out there and I go, oh, it's quiet. There's no one out there. It looks like the wind's blowing a little bit. But you might look outside and go, well, there's like 5 cars out there. The grass is looking really green today. You know what I mean? It's just, it's going to be a different perspective.
Yeah.
And the best way to understand and actually debate with somebody and actually, try to understand where somebody is coming from is trying your best to see through their world lens, because in their world lens, this is going to be a very scary, very frightening time. But if you can look through their world lens and then kind of explain to them, well, this is why these things that you might think are not true, then you can actually have an open debate and conversate. The other side is not doing that. All they're doing is looking through their worldview, which is bleak and dark and scary and requires violence in their eyes, when all they need to do is look at somebody like me and try and see things from my perspective and see that, hey, things aren't that bad.
Yeah, it's and it's insane because there's plenty of people of color, there's plenty of trans people, plenty of people that started out poor.
Yeah.
And they're all doing successful things. They're going to school, they've got good jobs. I mean, they're out there. You can look at them and see, oh, well, it's not exactly apocalyptic if I try hard. I may not become CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but I can make enough money that my son might.
Right.
Like, I think that's something big that we lost is generalization. No, that's not what I mean. Is generational. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you would work your ass off so that your children could do better than you.
Right.
And we've got so far away from that. Everything is instant gratification. If I can't do it and I can't have it, it's meaningless.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is they were raised with the mentality, instead of, you can do anything. They took that and were told, I am entitled to anything. Exactly. I am entitled to this and entitled to that. No, you can become anything with hard work, with dedication, with time, with effort, and with a fucking sane point of view. You can become anything, but you're not entitled to shit.
Yeah, that's I think I have a unique perspective because I literally grew up on a farm. Like I spent my days after school plowing fields and just doing what it took to survive.
Right.
And so I know that hard work pays off. When I ate dinner, I knew it was because I worked my ass off to make it.
Yeah.
And so they go out into the world and they don't have this grounding. They don't have any experience. they've got to get a job, and the job sucks, but nothing prepared them for a job that sucks, so they hate it and they don't want to do it. And they see people
Mhm.
more successful than them, and they don't understand that it took them hard work to get that, so they're angry and frustrated at them, and they're jealous, and they just hate every fucking thing.
I don't like to talk a lot about, Christianity or anything on this channel because that's not what I'm here for. But there was something my pastor said to me growing up. I was kind of like, I was being mentored basically by this guy because I wanted to be in ministry. But there was something he always said is this: everyone wants my anointing, but they don't want the experience that came with it. And it's
That's
true.
that's nice.
It's you. What you don't understand is you can't just become whatever you want. You can't just be this or be that. You have to have experiences. You have to be forged through a fire of some sort, whether it's education or life experience or whatever it happens to be. You will be forged into whatever you want to become. You don't just be it. You can't just be this. An artist without pain is not an artist.
No, no, just a guy making doodles.
It's just a guy making doodles. He'll never make it. Without pain, without struggle, without some kind of unique perspective on life, an artist is nothing. And that's just one example of the type of conditioning I'm talking about, where you need to have this experience. You can't just say this is what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everybody just expects to step out into the world and be successful.
That's right. And it's just you see it so much, and you see it in great numbers. And while that would be okay, well, I guess these guys are just stupid and they're never going to make anything of themselves. They feel so entitled that they're ruining the country they state they're trying to save.
Yeah, they have no end game. Like the short sightedness is really killing them.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? What happens if everybody becomes a feminist? If they won tomorrow and
Mm-hmm.
they enacted all of these fucking radical, crazy ass ideas they had, and men became an oppressed class,
Mm-hmm.
what happens then? What's your plan for that? What does that accomplish? What good does it do?
Oh, and I'm sure even if they got accomplished every single thing they want, their state they want now, they'll come up with 100 more reasons why they need more equality.
That's what I'm saying. That's Allison from the Badgers has a great segment on this. It's the Church of Women Worsting. Societal
Okay.
progress is based on the progress of women, how well you treat your women. You can look at a country and see how far it is on the social progress scale based on how its women are treated. And social
Mm-hmm.
progress only moves one direction. It only goes forward. It never goes backwards. It can stall,
Mm-hmm.
like say when we elected Donald Trump, we can stall it.
Right.
We can undo a little bit of what Obama did. But when
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump's out, after we've had our feast of fools, there will be another Democrat in, and social
Mm-hmm.
progress will start moving.
Right. What now? I want to go to kind of segue into the Kekistan thing again. Um,
Praise Keck.
Praise Kek. The silent majority of the world, but in particular America, when I'm talking, the silent majority has been ignored for oh so very long. And they're always ignored because they're silent, because we don't pick up signs and go out and protest.
We don't have
Um,
time.
we don't have time. We're working. We're trying to make our lives better. But if the media went out to fucking Killeen, Texas, and started interviewing people out there, they'd see the world in an entirely different light. I'll tell you that.
That's what I've been saying. I actually just said this not long ago. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the pipeliners, it's the rod busters, it's the
Yep.
welders, it's the pipe fitters, it's the people that wake up every morning at 5 in the morning. They strap their boots on, they go to work, they grind out the hardest 8 hours of work that anybody's ever experienced. They come home, they have a couple of hours to spend with their wife and kids, and they get up the next day and they do it again. They don't have time to worry about your CNN polls. They don't have time to worry about if you think Donald Trump will ever be president or not.
Right.
All they can do is watch the debates when they have time, see who speaks to them, and then vote. And the whole rest of the time, everybody's ignoring them. They forget that they exist because they're out there busting their fucking ass, and they don't have time to be loud and in front of the fucking limelight. So they push back. That's all they can do. They push back with their votes.
Yep. And that it's that's a statement I made. I think it was to Chris Yassity, but I'm not sure. That while Democrats, leftists. There's a difference between a Democrat and a leftist. While leftists speak with signs and violence, the silent majority just speaks at the ballot box. That's it. That's where they, and that's the American way. That's the way it's supposed to be. You speak by electing the officials who represent what you believe, at least in mostly represent what you believe. That's been the American system since day one. And protests were supposed to be a full stop, last resort thing to show that you mean business. But they have literally normalized protesting. When you normalize protesting, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it's what rod can you use to measure society by? It's always disgruntled. Like they can't look out the White House and say, "Oh, the citizens are disgruntled. What did we do?" When every day they're disgruntled for everything.
Right. For things that obviously Trump did not put into place because he's only been in office for a little over a week.
Yeah, it's insane. Like they just ignore the fact that this was Obama's list, and then in fact the major Muslim countries aren't even on it. Right. But it's a Muslim ban. Oh, he's banning all Muslims.
Yeah. No, he's and that's the thing. The Muslim ban has been this biggest thing, and you see where some judges stepped in, and they were doing was virtue signaling. They were putting out a stay that didn't even apply to the situation. The stay that the federal judges put in place was to keep anybody who's currently here from being deported.
That was all legal too, actually. That's what people should have pulled from that is Donald Trump will follow the law, because the judges came in, they said, if they're legal citizens or they've already been cleared, you have to let them in legally. And he said, okay. Right. It happened. They're in. Nobody's detained anymore. Everything's moving smoothly. He proved that he will follow the law when he's told that this is the law. But instead of pulling that from it, instead of pulling the hope from it, all they can see is Muslim ban.
Right. And we see that that the feelings of other people is apparently more important to these people than the physical safety of their neighbor. And that's just horrible. It's just something. Now, as far as the green card thing goes, what the federal judge actually put in the stay was that if you have a green card and you're currently here, you can't be kicked out. That's what that stay was. It had nothing to do with Trump's Muslim ban. Really, honestly. Had nothing to do with it because his ban did not include green card holders who are actually here. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're a green card holder and you're from Syria and you leave here to go to Syria, when you come back, you should probably be exposed to some vetting, because we have seen with hundreds of people that they get radicalized online. They have dual citizenship or whatever. So it's real easy to hop on a plane, go to Syria, get trained as an extremist, come here and just wait until it's time to attack.
Yes, I think we should have the absolute heaviest vetting process ever for two reasons.
Yeah.
It's immediate safety concerns, and then as bad as this is going to sound, it keeps our Muslim population low enough that they have to conform to our society. Whenever you let them
Right.
in large groups like they did overseas, they don't have to conform anymore. There's not enough police to rein them in. There's not enough people to stop them from making that their country. The country they came from is now the country they live in again because they don't have to conform.
Hmm.
They don't have to share your morals and values because they've got the liberals over there screaming their head off that, oh, these poor people, these we're going to treat them like children. They don't know any better. They don't know rape is wrong.
Right.
So they just don't have to conform.
Well, okay, but the biggest thing is you have to take a look at this. Any counterculture or a different culture that you bring in vast droves into a country is going to more assimilate that country to them than the country assimilates them to the country. That has been proven time and time again uh, uh, when vast refugees have been taken into countries. Countries have changed based on that. And we see it right now in Germany. Germany's changing. We see it in Sweden, I think it is,
Yeah,
where they let in.
Sweden, who went from almost no rapes reported annually, like it was ridiculously low number, to the rape capital of the world.
Right. And it's the see, that's the fucked up thing. It was the feminists in Sweden who pushed the government to bring in more of these Muslim refugees. And there is nothing, absolutely fucking nothing feminist about fucking Islam. Nothing.
Yeah, it's literally the antithesis to feminism.
Exactly. Like, when you say, oh yeah, we want the antithesis of feminism to flood our country, what the fuck are you fighting for?
Yeah, they don't know what they're fighting for. I don't know what they're fighting for. They're just fighting to fight, to feel like they have a fucking purpose.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want any fucking Christians coming over here from Syria either, without being extremely vetted.
Oh,
Because
see, it's the religion is irrelevant to me. I don't want anybody from anywhere coming into my country without being heavily vetted.
exactly. I mean, but when we're talking about states, failed states like Syria, Libya, Yemen, I'm trying to think what else was on that list. Iraq. When you're talking about failed states like this, these Christians have been exposed to a life where extremism is normal,
Yeah,
where extremism is normalized. And I would not want even Christians coming in here thinking that extremism is normal, thinking that that's how you make your point. I do not want that to be a thing.
oh, I catch a lot of shit for being a nationalist. Um, obviously because I'm white, they think I'm automatically a white nationalist.
Right,
But
exactly.
the life of Sean King means more to me than the life of anybody outside of this country. Period.
Right.
Because he is my countryman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. The life of the guy down at 7-Eleven. I don't know his name. Apu or something.
But if he's a citizen,
Yes, his life means more to me than any fucking body else.
then John in England, who's white.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think that I don't understand. I've always thought that that's the way it was. Like
Mm-hmm.
my parents didn't teach me that this white guy is your brother and you should care about him. They taught
Yeah,
me that all of these people in this country are your brothers and you should care about them.
that's right. And that's what patriotism is. I mean, nowadays patriotism is considered a taboo thing because they've turned it into, well, you're racist, you're an isolationist, you hate everybody. Fuck off. You know, we have to protect ourselves. We can't spread ourselves thin by trying to protect the whole rest of the world. That's
That's
not our job.
exactly where we've been fucking up. Like this is one of the things they teach you in psychology too is you cannot fix anybody if you yourself are broken.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so we going back to the Kekistan thing, we see a vast amount of people coming up and saying we've been ignored, we've been downtrodden, and in order to be heard, we have to take on an identity. In order to be heard, we have to take on oppression points, and in order to be heard, we have to be just as ridiculous as you. That's what the Free Kekistan thing is all about. If you break it down to it, that's what it is.
That's exactly. It's really multi-level. It's one part to take the piss, two parts fuck you, and three parts this is what we've come to.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's the level of the levels of irony go so deep, it's almost hard to imagine. But when you think about it, it really is what you have to do to be heard in this world nowadays. It really is.
Yeah, that's a white cis male on the street corner shouting his lungs out is meaningless.
Right.
However, if you're a gender fluid Walmart toaster pansexual demi-queer, then every opinion you have matters.
Exactly. And so now we have to take on this made up oppressed society. We have to take on, we have to identify as something not white American in order just to be heard. And it's sad that it's come to this, but I like the way we're responding, because if we don't respond, we're basically saying that this is okay. There's a time where the silent majority can stay silent, and that's the majority of the time. But there's also time where when we've been ignored for so long that we have to come up and say, hey, wait a fucking minute. Wait a minute.
You have to mock them into silence is the only way.
Because that's what they've been doing for the last 20 fucking years. Mocking everybody into silence.
That's the only way you can combat it. Physical violence won't work. It adds to their oppression points. Being angry and logical with them adds somehow to their oppression points. So the only tool at our disposal is to just absolutely mock and take the piss out of them.
Exactly. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring up is something that really fucking pissed me off. Yesterday was the 1st of February, and there was a meeting at the White House to cover Black History Month. I have nothing against Black History Month. Hey, Amanda. I have nothing against Black History Month. I have nothing against different cultures being recognized. I get it. Donald Trump had no problem with that. He held a very nice meeting with only people of color and his vice president and his son. That's it. Had them all there. Black leaders of their communities, of their respective communities, and he had a good conversation with them. He listened to them. He sat down. He shook their hand. There was even one pastor who said that because he was known to be associated with Donald Trump, that the local leaders of the gangs in the area wanted to sit down with him and talk about lowering the body count that they produce, which is amazing, which is great. And this is in Chicago. Fantastic. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Love to see this. But no, we didn't see any of these liberals talking about how great Donald Trump was in that meeting and how he was listening to the people of America. No, number 2 trending in the world on fucking Twitter was Trump on Black history. And it was nothing but made up quotes about how stupid he must be about Black history. But no one's actually talking about the damn video that all of the media outlets recorded and only ran when it was live, never again, and then focused on him stating a couple times in the meeting that the media was fake news. They blew that up. They covered up the whole rest of the meeting, and all they did was say Trump uses Black History Month to shout out, quote, fake news. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's
well, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. That's all they know how to do. if they fold now, after they've doubled down so many times and say, oh well, Donald Trump really doesn't seem that racist, then they've lost all of the credibility they think they still have.
Right. I'm sorry. It annoyed the fuck out of me when I'm sitting here and I'm watching this fantastic meeting. I've never seen a president meet with people the way that he did during that clip, just sitting down and just listening to what they have to say with a smile on his face, looking at them, paying attention, not for the cameras, but for him. And these are all people that supported him. Bullshit, there was no support from the black community. We see things like this constantly, and the media keeps trying to say, no, remember, 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is 5. Yeah. And we're like, fucking no, it's 4. And they're like, nope, it's 5. Sorry.
On a similar note, have either one of y'all come across a decent source for the renaming of Black History Month? So far, I've only seen it on TMZ and AMP News, which...
Hey, what happened? I don't know what you're talking about.
I hadn't seen it.
Well, if you Google it, I'm sure you'll still just get TMZ and AMP, because I just Googled it not long ago. But apparently Trump supposedly renamed Black History Month African American History Month.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what TMZ and AMP are saying. Until a better source comes forward, I won't quote it as fact, but...
Oh, here's a great source, Gossip Cop.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds perfect.
No. I see that he's going to rename and revamp his counter-extremism program.
I'm okay with that.
It's going to be called, instead of being called Countering Violent Extremism, it's going to be called Countering Islamic Extremism or Countering Radical Islamic Extremism.
I'm okay with that too. I don't understand why people have such a problem with calling a spade a spade.
Right. Like if there were a shit ton of, for some reason, Christian terrorists nowadays, like I know maybe back in the 80s and 90s, they were blowing up some abortion clinics. And it'd be okay to call them Christian extremists, which we did.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean we're saying they're all white. They're all racist.
That's how we battled it. That's how it ended. We said these are Christian extremists, and as Christians
said,
if
that
you
is
don't
not
disavow this, you support it.
Right.
Yeah, Christians said, fuck you guys, we're going over here.
Yeah, but if you say that about Muslims, suddenly you're racist.
Yep. And that shuts down all conversation. It shuts down conversation. It shuts down recognition of the problem that we have, and it makes us lame. Like not the urban diss, but it makes us lame, like literally handicapped when it comes to national security, when it comes to the security of the American people.
Well, pointing out problems makes people defensive. They automatically want to be like, no, we don't have a problem, even if they know they have a fucking problem. They just don't like other people pointing it out.
I don't know. When I was in school, staring at the screen that my teacher turned on, watching a tower burn, and then watched a fucking plane slam into the second tower, and then I watched them collapse while my teacher is crying, just bawling at her desk, and the girl that I like is sitting there in tears going, I don't understand what's happening. When I see stuff like that, I go, yeah, we have a problem. And I was just a kid.
Yeah,
I was a kid. I saw it on the news right before, like as my bus was coming. My mom was in a rush. She didn't realize what had really happened, and she put us on the bus anyway. Or I think it was just me because I was ready. I don't think my siblings actually went to school that day, but I did. And the teacher explained to us that we were so close to Los Alamos that if the terrorists decided to hit there, we should pretty much just all say our goodbyes because we would be gone, and so would half of most of the states around us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in class. I want to say it was 5th grade reading, and we saw that on the TV, and I didn't understand at first exactly the implications of it until I was given like a body count or a an estimation of the amount of people that were in those buildings, and it just dumbfounded me that
Mhm.
that many people could lose their lives in an instant for an ideology.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was like 3,000 people, wasn't it?
Too
It
damn
was
many.
a lot.
And I love how when we see, Islamic extremism rates since 9/11. No, fucking include 9/11.
Yeah, 9/11. When will 9/11 count again? When we have the next 9/11 because we ignored the first one?
Right.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, if you're friends with somebody and they steal your wallet and you get your wallet back and you go, okay, well, you haven't stolen my wallet since you've stolen my wallet. So
Yeah,
we're
so it's all good. Yeah.
good. Come on.
You haven't stabbed anybody since you stabbed those last three guys, so fuck it. Here, have a knife.
Right.
Oh. But that's the world we live in. It is so topsy turvy. It is so insane. It is right is wrong, left is right. It's just insane.
Left is
Le-
always right.
Left isn't right. Left is the only way, or you're a racist, fascist piece of shit Nazi.
It's I don't understand. I really don't understand why people think that we can continue to live with this kind of society. Like, you see, even Donald Trump is like, what the fuck?
Because the man just wants to do what he can to help America, and he's literally going to be torn limb from limb for every little thing he does.
I've noticed he hasn't had time to put on his bronzer recently. He's been looking a little pale.
Not quite so orange lately.
Yeah, not quite so orange. Which I'm okay with. He needs to lose that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
He
I
also
imagine
needs
he's
a
gonna look
haircut.
like death when it's over with.
Oh, I'm sure he will. He also needs a haircut and an actually properly tailored suit and a smaller tie. That's what he needs.
Can he cut that hair?
It's real, so I'm sure he could. I just think he's afraid to, because I don't think
it
it's
real?
grown.
Is it like the butt plug hair is real hair, kind of real?
I mean, it could be something like that, but he could still cut it. It may not grow anymore, but he could cut it.
I thought plugs grew.
Oh, they might. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought they rooted.
I'm sure he can cut it. All I know is it's definitely real. I've seen so many people tug on his hair. Even in WWE, they made a big deal of that, where they drug him around by his hair.
Doesn't Mexican butt plug hair, like, when it first came out, it looked funny. So if he got it done back then, that would pretty much work out timeline-wise, and it would look funny.
Right.
That's what it is. That's what I've always thought. It's just plug hair.
I think he should just go bald. Fuck it.
I just think he needs to cut his hair, because he kind of looks like a homeless guy. And he's one of the richest men in the world, so it doesn't make sense to me. I also don't know why he can't get a properly tailored suit and pants that are flattering to him.
Well, I think I would be that rich guy. I would bum around in band shirts and blue jeans.
Yeah, but he looks like he's trying to be trying to look good, which is the sad. He's got diamond cufflinks and shit.
He just doesn't know quite how to pull it off.
You gonna go the Gary Johnson and be the president in jeans?
Yeah, well, see, that's what stylists are for. That's why people have stylists. You go to a stylist and say, "What would suit me?" And they go, "This." I'm sure he can afford that.
That was very gay, as if the stylist was gay. Are you saying that gay people are stylists?
Some gay people are stylists, yes.
Actually, quite a lot of them. Yeah, I was about to say, Lance, the stylist I know, is gay as fuck.
Yeah.
Stylist. I'm from Texas.
Well, yes, so are we.
Yeah, so are we.
Well, my part of Texas does not have any stylists that I know.
I'm in Austin.
Yeah, well, that makes more sense.
Well, yeah, Austin is definitely the gay stylist capital of Texas.
Yeah. uh, it's I just it to me, when it comes down to it, we just need to keep talking. That's what it is. We just need to keep talking. We need to keep resisting people who want to shut people up, even Nazis, because these horrible ideas need to be brought to light. They need to be shat on. They need to be insulted. But we need to not be stopping them from speaking, because then all we're doing is we're pushing them into the underground, pushing them into extremism. So if we let them speak, then they can speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with silencing them. I think the best tactic is to keep letting them talk.
You have
And then,
no right or ability to silence anyone anyway. The
yeah,
only way
that's
you're going to be able to silence somebody is by killing them. Literally. Like,
yeah,
they could talk if they want to fucking talk. The only way you're
yeah.
going to stop them
The
is you're going to
key
kill them.
the
But
key
they
is to
silenced Milo
shame them
Yiannopoulos.
into silence.
They silenced him, at
They
least for a
didn't
night.
silence him. They just kept him out of one event. He made a video that night. It's a good video, too. Fuck them. Fucking
Yeah, but I
violent
mean,
little children thinking they get their way, and then they don't get their way, and they're going to be even more violent, and someone's just going to
that's
smack them.
that's how it starts, though. If it's okay to shut him down at one event, then it's okay to shut him down at the next event.
And that's why I said somebody's eventually just going to fucking smack them. They're just small children that need to get
Oh,
smacked.
did y'all see the video of that car plowing through the UC Berkeley protesters?
No, I didn't.
Somebody
Not
jumped up on
Yeah.
his car and started smashing the windshield, and he just burned off through him.
nice. Well, if they're, yeah, that's a fucking threat to your
Yeah,
life.
if they're actually threatening him like that, like with violence, then yeah, he did what he
They have
needed
every
to. But
right.
like, if he just plowed through him and they didn't do anything to him, that'd be different.
Yeah, exactly. But I just want to point out I'm not advocating smacking kids, but there are times when a kid needs to be fucking smacked. It happens occasionally.
Yeah.
If they're acting violent like this.
Well, look,
Well,
if
also,
they're
like, when
protesting on my block, on my street where me and my family live, like I mean, I don't know exactly what I would do, but I would take huge issue with it, and I would do whatever it took to defend myself and my property.
Oh yeah, if they were doing this kind of shit near my house where my children were, they would have a big fucking problem. They'd be fucking moving their protest elsewhere.
sadly, I was late to the protests that were going on here in Austin. But by the time I got there, the people, those protesters were lazy because while DC was still going strong, our protesters had gone home, probably to get some Starbucks. Anyway,
You don't wank it before the protest, Brad.
so I went there, and the ones that I talked to, the majority of them were really, the word I'm looking for. They were
Not
peaceful.
crazy?
They were not crazy. They were sane. But
Benign.
then when I went to the women's march the next day, I spoke to that guy who was holding the sign that says "Republicans cause cancer."
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was
I'm
good.
pretty sure I'm done talking to you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's
Like,
I think
holding a sign that says "Republicans cause cancer," and I say, "How do Republicans cause cancer?" And you can't fucking answer it.
I
Yeah,
think liberals in Texas are like so far detached from the liberals up north that they just follow along and they have no idea what they're really protesting or why they're protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they don't
it's
care. It's just fun. It's on TV. It's what they're
yeah,
supposed to do. This is the
they were
good thing.
told that if they don't do it, then they're bad, so they got to go do it.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah.
moral high ground if you do this.
Yeah. Have you guys been keeping up on the "He Will Not Divide Us" stream?
No.
I watched a little bit of it yesterday. I was in a live stream after we got done watching the Berkeley shit.
The leftists have stopped arriving. Like you'll get one or two that show up and start doing that, but then like the majority of people who hang out in front of the camera now are all like poll trolls.
Yeah, they lost.
They lost. They really lost. And I saw Brittany Venti. She got in front of the camera last night, and she goes, "Whose stream is this now?"
Yeah, she was there for like 8 hours yesterday.
Damn. I watched her play Twister. That was fun to watch.
Nice.
I mean, they had to know that was just ripe for poll. Like they asked for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait till Shia shows up again. He's out of jail now. So
yeah,
I can't wait till he shows up again.
That dude, I think he's batshit crazy. I think he's honestly fucking lost it.
Yeah. And it happens a lot to child stars. It really does. A
lot of them were fucking molested.
Yeah, Brittany did get. George Dye pointed out that Brittany got pickpocketed. She did. She someone stole like some kind of fluffy thing of hers out of her pocket. They returned it to her. And then the friend of the guy, I was watching this last night live. The friend of the guy who stole the thing out of her pocket asked her out, and she called him a sad excuse for a man. He got like de-fucking masculated on stream live for the world to see. He's like, "Can we take this out of you with a camera?" She's like, "No." I don't know what you'll do to me.
In front of the camera, she's not required to take it off. No, fuck him.
Right? Yeah.
But fuck her too. What a bitch.
It's safer on camera anyway.
Yeah. But why would you say? I don't know. That'd just be me. I could say it nicer than that. Like, no, I'm not really comfortable with going out with you, and I find it a little odd that you're asking at this point. That's how I would have said it. You don't got to be a bitch about it. If it keeps going, then you become a bitch.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest, though, her first response to him was, "That's nice." That was it.
Okay.
When he said, I'd really like to take you out on a date. And she goes, "That's nice."
Okay, maybe he just didn't get the hint.
He didn't get that.
That's a definite brush off.
Yeah.
I don't get those often, but I recognize it.
Yep. Back when I had like no confidence, I'd get that a lot. Now that I have confidence, even though I'm not even like the most gorgeous man in the world or anything, as long as you have confidence, it usually works. You don't get brushed off very easily.
I'm an Adonis.
It's his friend stole from her and she has a right to be a bitch, but she didn't right off the bat either. She was just like, "That's nice." And then he's like, "Whatever," and he left, and then he comes back and he like pushes through her to get in front of the camera again, and then he turns around to talk to her again. And why won't you
I'd stab him.
Like that?
I'd stab him at that
pathetic
point.
Excuse for a man.
Yeah, no, you're not pushing me, motherfucker. I'll stab you.
Fucking beta male's what he was.
Well, I mean, at least he had the nuts to go for it. Fuck it. The worst a girl can say to you is no, or cry rape and get you falsely imprisoned. But I mean, that's a small price to pay.
Small price to pay for that pussy, huh?
Exactly. Kingdoms have fell for less.
So let's talk about Brittany Venti for a minute. Do you guys know what she's been doing outside of the protests?
I thought she got famous through Twitch, and after that, just is
she
still
got
relevant for being an edgelord.
She got famous for being an easy troll target, which I think was her entire purpose when she started, was to be an easy troll target. You should check out her previous content because it's pretty amazing. She's a complete idiot when she's doing the streams. She ends every, like, if she says it happened, she says it happened. So any word that ends in ed, she puts ed at the end and mispronounces words constantly. And she does it all on purpose. I didn't realize that she had done it all on purpose until I saw her at the He Will Not Divide Us stream. I'm like, wait, so she's not a total idiot? I thought she was a total idiot.
No, it's fun to be underestimated when you're a chick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Texas. I don't underestimate chicks.
You should.
Yeah.
I got 3 sisters. 3 older sisters. They used to beat me up regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I'm really enjoying how that stream got appropriated by the exact opposite group.
I know we've brought shit posting to the real world.
We have, yeah.
It's not really surprising. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
I don't. Whenever they were having the meeting to set this up, nobody said, "What if a bunch of assholes that don't support it show up?"
Yeah. And that's what happened.
It's like Rule 82 or something of the internet. If there is an opportunity for Kek, there will be Kek.
Right, exactly.
Every time.
But yeah, I mean, this girl is a freaking genius. I just want to comment on this because she does these types of streams where, like, if you give her a tip, you can basically put a video over her stream, and which is, just asking to be trolled. And she does this and she gets trolled, and then she reacts like violently, screaming, crying, like doing everything you'd expect a target of 4chan to be doing. But it's all an act. Like, you sometimes notice she has to cut the camera off because she's bursting into laughter over how she's being trolled, and she finds it hilarious. Yeah, either like a video or text to speech, so like they can like broadcast on her channel like the meanest things to her, and it's funny the way she reacts, and she makes money every time someone insults her, and people are always insulting her.
Oh yeah, I'd do that. I'd make it cost a shit ton of money though.
Yeah.
Give me like $20, and then let's do this.
And like her Patreon's hilarious too, because like the highest tiers like $2,500 or $3,500
holy shit
a month. It's hilarious.
Damn.
Yeah.
She thinks highly of herself.
Yeah, or at least that's what her character does.
Yeah.
Herself. It's just funny. The world has fucked up, man. Like, the world's fucked.
Is she the Ree girl? The Ree?
What? Yeah, she's the one that goes.
Okay, just making sure, because that's how I know her, is the Ree. I figured that's who we were talking about, but I just wanted to be certain.
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, that's her stream now. She
also gets in front of the camera and goes, praise Kek, Chatelet, Chatelet. It's fucking awesome.
That is one cool bitch. I want to have a drink with her sometime.
My favorite guy so far has been the guy with the 2 milk jugs.
Milk jugs?
Oh, yeah, Milkman?
Yeah, Milkman.
I love Milkman.
I've not seen Milkman.
I'm still not quite sure why he was there or what he was doing, but...
Well, all he does is he goes there and goes, down with the vegan agenda.
And smashes the milk or something? Or just
yeah. Like, he throws milk over his shoulder. Down with the vegan agenda. Nice. Then there's Jackie 4chan, who is an Asian. He's hilarious. I'm trying to think. There's there's Jihadi Jesus. He's
Jesus.
Yeah, he's like an Arabic man who looks like Jesus. So he calls himself Jihadi Jesus.
Nice.
And it's just awesome. It's they've really taken over that stream, and I'm glad they did. Now the whole world is watching what 4chan brought to the world.
Yeah, the whole world can enjoy the Kek.
Right. So this petition that I started now has 182 supporters for FreeKekistan.
Oh, I need to sign that. I keep forgetting.
You do. I'll put it in the chat again. in the chat earlier, and like Sedo749 got pissed and left, so I don't know.
Fuck them.
Said something about normie being a word bullies use. Like
Wow.
Hitler used the word, whatever the German word for the is, several times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Words are just fucking words, people.
Right. Kek be praised. Chatelet, Chatelet.
My husband's always trying to tell me that the reason he chooses not to curse in a conversation is that cursing makes you sound less intelligent. Told him that's fucking stupid because science has proven that more intelligent people curse more often. So that's fucking reverse thinking right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to read the petition here, it says, for too long, the ethnic people of Kekistan have been downtrodden and tossed aside. We didn't even have a Wikipedia entry until today. We demand that our right to harvest the dankest of memes be respected. Normies need to check their privilege and get out. Hashtag FreeKekistan. Hashtag respect Pepe.
Maybe he was trolling. Maybe he was enjoying the kek by storming out.
Maybe.
That could be it. He's trying to make martyrs of us.
This
To further
petition,
the cause.
this petition will be delivered to normies, President Trump, and normal fags.
Everybody read the kek.
Link Mountaineer is asking if Kek is a meme or not. Either of you care to explain Kek, or do I have to do it?
All right. Kek is the factional translation of language in World of Warcraft. Say if you were Alliance speaking to the Horde and you said laugh out loud, it would come out as Kek. And that's how it started. And from there, it has somehow evolved into a pseudo religion of memeology or something. I mean, I've been around for most of it, and even I can't tell you exactly how this evolution occurred. It started with just people replacing laugh out loud with Kek on 4chan, and now Kek is a benevolent ruler. And praise be to Kek. I don't question it. I just accept it.
Yeah, they tried to get rid of it. Like, they tried to ban Pepe and shit, so Kek took off even more. It gained more influence. Everybody wants their memes. Fuck all those who would try to shut us down.
Are you there, Brad?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was talking and I was muted.
Oh, okay.
What I was saying was I added to the petition the UN. So this petition will be delivered to normies, President Trump, normal fags, and the UN. That was by request of George Dye. So
Hey, look, if they let our Anita Sarkeesian speak at the UN, they damn sure need to let one of us speak.
Brad.
Right,
Let
exactly.
Brad or Scribe or Undoomed.
I want Undoomed with that voice.
Right? He'd
Hey,
have all
morons!
the UN wet. Moist. They'd all be moist.
I hate that word. I really do.
This
shouldn't have
makes me
said that.
moist.
The whole chat is gonna be moist now. You know that, right?
Brad was lost in the dankest of maymays. Oh God. President Trump just tweeted, quote, Trump taps first woman to CIA second in command.
That's terrible.
Oh, he really needs to get somebody to write these for him. Jesus Christ.
I said, Kek, come on, bro.
Yo, the liberal media cannot wait to take off with this.
He's tapping women in the office.
Already.
I'd tap that. I'd tap that.
Probably grabbing them by the pussy.
So I will be working with Chris Yossity coming up here pretty soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna be. I'm gonna be part of her group for men's issues.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they did put together a channel that covers men's issues. Her, Michael Rowlands, Tim, and a few other people put together a channel that covers men's issues. And they want me to do a video about addiction for the channel, so I'm going to be doing that. I'll put a link to that channel in the description below for anybody who's listening to this afterwards. I'll also put a link to the petition in the description below for that as well. So I haven't seen any other anti-SJWs doing anything for this channel, so I hope maybe I can kind of create a bridge between the two sides here, so that maybe we can get some actual conversation going on instead of just shitting on each other all the time.
Yeah, it would be nice if that side was open to listening.
Yeah, and Christiosity actually does seem to be open to listen. I was really hard on her yesterday. I was without sleep, and when I don't have sleep, even though I don't feel like I need to sleep because I'm manic, I get very irritable, very, very irritable. And yesterday,
I watched the exchange, and I don't think you were that hard on her because she had her little cheerleader Tim there spouting total nonsense. Like,
yeah,
his brain can't vet what he says.
Right. Oh, we mentioned Tim. I'm just waiting for Amanda to say how much she hates that two-faced cunt, like she always does. By the way, that's a quote from Amanda. That's not me calling you a two-faced cunt, Tim, by the way.
I was busy with my kids, but I hate that two-faced cunt.
See, I knew it was coming.
I used to stick up for Tim because I thought he was just kind of on the ropes and was just torn between ideology and logic. But the more he talks and the more I listen to him, I'm just like, dude, you're fucking retarded.
Two-faced cunt. That's what you realize.
I got into a Twitter DM exchange with him after he released a video about the stream I did after he did that stream with Bering.
He did a video about your stream? I missed that.
Yeah, he did a video about that stream, and he bleeped out my name. He bleeped out the names of everybody else who was in the stream, and he bleeped out the name of the stream. All he did was like, he was like, Tim got wrecked, or brutal stream. Which is what I named it, brutal stream. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he said something like I was a sycophant and a knob sucker of Bearings, which pissed me the fuck off after how nice I've been to him. After all the hours of platform I've given him on my channel, he wants to call me a sycophant and a dick sucker. I'm like, all right, dude, make another video like this again, and it's on.
I got pissed off at him during that stream of Bering. I was yelling at him in the chat because he called you some guy he was in a stream with. I was like, Brad, motherfucker, his name is Brad.
Yeah, some guy. After all the time that I've given him, and after all the charity, after how charitable I've been to him in all of our arguments, he calls me some guy. Like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, there's already some black guy. We don't need another some guy.
It was fucking Bering who said, you mean Brad the Impaler?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fucking say my name, bitch.
Man, I guess I should have knew he was retarded after he told the guy named Bering Cab who doxed Bering and didn't expect Bering Cab to tell him.
Right. Like, come on. Like, I get that, like, I guess he's a little bit too trusting or whatever, but you what makes you think that you can give private information to somebody whose first part of their name is after your enemy?
Dude, why does that matter anyway? It doesn't matter if you're in a private conversation or a public one. If you say some shit, you should be able to back the shit up, or don't say the shit. Yeah.
Well, the Rogue Thread says Tim refuses to argue with me on Twitter because he knows he'll lose. He loses every argument he has with me on Twitter too, but he still comes at me. Like, what the fuck?
That's why he won't say anything about me calling him a two-faced cunt, because he knows I'm right. And I point.
Yeah.
He keeps asking, and I point out exactly why he's a two-faced cunt. The two-faced cunt behavior he has displayed that has led me to this belief and led me to hate him.
No, not an SJW. Never.
So I love how I was able to drag. I was on Twitter and I drug Cat Black into like 3 or 4 different Twitter arguments at once.
Nice.
And she was in them, and then when we finally got done and we came to an agreement on something, I said we should work together. Nothing, not a damn thing from her. And I'm like, okay, bitch. So I'm trying to make sure I don't have an echo chamber, and you're not helping with that. And yet you always bitch about us having an echo chamber. Fuck off.
Yeah, I will. That's the one thing I'll give Tim, is he seems the most inclined to leave his echo chamber and talk with other people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even though he'll be a worm and a tool and a snake the entire time, but still.
But still. I dipped my finger in hot wax.
Oh, that sounded fun.
It was a little hot.
I was never into wax play, but some people are. To each their own.
I love wax play, but I don't know. I don't think it's I don't know. It's not my number one thing.
I've never tried it, but I'll try just about anything once, except for butt stuff.
Aw.
Giving or receiving?
Receiving. Receiving.
Oh, so you give all day.
Yeah, I've gave butt stuff before. I will not receive it though.
You can't be into giving it if you're not willing to receive it. Damn it!
Right.
It's not fair.
Yes, I can actually. Watch me.
It's not fair.
Well, it'll just have to be unfair.
Pat is a trisexual.
I'm actually asexual. I reproduce asexually.
By yourself?
Yes, I shit out kids daily.
Litters?
Yes, whole litters of them.
Oh. All right, so we've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. You guys have any ideas?
Sorry, my kids seem to know when I'm busy and they start screaming at me.
Oh, that's what they're there for.
That's what kids do.
Dinner.
How about Milo finally released the privilege grant?
The what?
The what?
Privilege grant. Oh, y'all don't know about this? The white privilege grant.
We have a grant now?
Yeah, this was started about 6 years ago, and he's just now releasing the funds for it. Well, the ideas came to fruition about maybe 6 years ago.
Is it for cis white males?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's for cis white males.
Yes.
But anyway, some donors came forward. The money disappeared. People have been asking about it for a long fucking time, and just now, he came forward with taking applications for the grant.
Oh,
for 10 men, and it's $3,000 per person.
I got to apply. I'm a white male. I deserve.
Yeah, he's accepting applications right now.
Well, I'm gonna apply.
I'm white, and my non-existent dick is bigger than some guys' dicks. It's bigger than Tim's dick.
Doesn't matter. You're a woman.
There's woman grants already. Get out of here.
Right. Go get one of them women grants.
My non-existent dick is still bigger than Tim's.
That's true. That is a fact. It might be bigger than mine.
Okay. So there's something on Snopes about President Trump changing the name of Black History Month to African American History Month. Let's see. So President Trump issued a proclamation honoring February 2017 as African American Month. The proclamation does not establish a new permanent name for the observance, and other presidents have used similar terminology in their proclamations.
So what the fuck? They're just whinging and minging for no reason.
For no goddamn reason. Yeah.
You'll find that they do that a lot.
It's fucking annoying. Whiny
So
cunts.
there we
Just
go.
need a good dicking.
Yeah, I think most of them do. Oh yeah, something else in Tim's favor. He's the only one out of Tim, Michael, and Christy Winters to not block me when I ask him if Christy Winters actually puts out for him or not.
That's because he wants everybody to be his friend so very badly. It's fucking annoying.
I think he got brought into this community of feminists, realized that he has to believe certain things to be friends with them, and has just been stuck with that.
No, because he's come and he's talked to people on this side, and he acts like he wants to be friends with them, and he doesn't. He just wants to be able to say he's in the middle. He just wants to have as many people as possible like him. He has a sick fascination with people liking him.
That's what I always got, is he just wants to be everybody's friend so bad. He wants to be everybody's friend, but he wants to be the hero, and he wants to be this and that. And
that's what I was afraid of with my approach, because I was afraid people were going to think, oh, he's just trying to play the middle and be everybody's friend. When I, try not to have an echo chamber with my channel and everything.
Well, it's actually okay to do that with the platform that you have.
You always come at everything very neutrally. Tim does not do that.
Right.
Yeah, like in order for you to perpetuate what you do, you kind of need to be in the middle. Like nobody would agree to come on with you if they knew you were going to rip them to pieces as soon as they got in the stream.
Yeah, you set your stuff up kind of more like an interview. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to aim for. I see myself as a political commentator / journalist, and recently I've been doing more journalistic things. Like I've been doing interviews, like live interviews with SJWs. And I'm going to be going to a place here in Austin that helps with addiction, to try and talk to some people there and get their stories for the video that I'm going to be doing for Christiosity's channel.
Oh, if you want, I'll throw in a piece about being the child of addicts for you for that.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be fantastic.
I'll make you something for that.
That'd be amazing. That'd be great. But at the same time, like, I will not allow somebody to come on my stream and spout absolute bullshit without being checked on it.
Yeah, that should go without say all the way around, even though it doesn't on mainstream media.
Right, exactly. So if you come in and you say something that I know for a fact is bullshit, and I'll call you on it. But at the same time, I want that conversation to be open. I want that conversation to be I want that to be a thing where people know that they can go talk to Brad, and while he might call him out on bullshit, he's not going to like just insult them to infinity. Edendro's here, and I am the king said Brad is the cheaper, far more bootleg, nowhere near as cool version of Dave Rubin. I am going to ban you, I am the King 48. Don't you ever say I'm less than Dave Rubin.
If it makes you feel better, I don't even know who Dave Rubin is.
Me either.
Oh, snap. Sorry, I'm a little weird. I haven't actually been my actual self in a while on streams. I'm very like this most of the time.
Who among us isn't a little weird?
Yeah, that's
normal anyway. Fuck normal. It'd be boring.
I'm gonna take I am the King 48's wrench from him. I'm going to give it to Edendro. That's what I'm gonna do.
Ooh.
Hey, oh, by the way, hey Ed. I was serious about there being jobs in Texas.
Yeah, come to Texas, Ed. Texas is cool.
That's where all the cool kids hang out.
Ha! Ha! I am the King 48. How do you feel now? You've been deranged.
Oh, he's about to rage quit.
Drenched and deranged.
Who's the king now?
Damn it, Endro Whitehall said I won't use it. Well, fine. I'll take it from you then. Give it to the rogue thread because he wants it.
Rogue is cool.
There you go. Ha! I'm taking wrenches from 2 people now.
You're such a benevolent dictator.
No, he's oppressive. He's removing the wrenches. You should just give up all the people.
I'm trying to not run into the Gestapo late at night. Shh.
I am the King 48. Oh, well, that's petty. Fine, then. He don't understand. I'm just fucking with him. I'm sorry. I'm having a good time.
You little slap.
That's what it's all about.
Right?
The pettiness. Oh, I love it.
The pouting.
I'm playing poker while we have this stream, and I'm up about 1.7 million, so. I'm
coloring.
I don't do anything while I'm streaming. I barely even look at Twitter.
I can't. I gotta, if I'm not doing something with my hands, I will tear my house apart.
Yeah, I gotta keep busy, man. I got like 6 different lines of thought going in my head at the same time, and I gotta keep some of them fucking occupied for a bit so I can think and talk.
Yeah. I want everybody who follows me to tweet at Sumo Psycho. I will actually put the handle in here. Everyone who follows me, I want you to tweet these guys and tell them to answer my email. They already told me on Twitter that they saw my email and they were going to respond to it, but they said that a week ago. So I would like all my followers to remind them that they actually have people that are going to watch, and if they just answer my email, we could get this going.
Tell them you are the army of Brad.
Right. I'm actually asking you to harass people, so go do it.
You're there to drag them to the spike.
For Kazar.
For the Keks.
For the Kek.
For Kekzar.
Kekistan.
Inject Brad with AIDS. Aw.
That's so sweet.
I'm a little verklempt right now.
Hi, Brad.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
You're not my target audience.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye. Aw, I'm all like melty now.
That was my youngest. I told you they always figure out when you're busy and they find you. He was
Thank you,
watching
Rose.
when you talk.
Yeah.
He liked that. That's why he was like, "What the fuck's going on here? I need your phone, Mom."
I'm all melty now. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's
My kids have that ability.
damn children's.
They're
I
super
miss my
fucking
nephews
cute.
now.
I miss my nephews. I have adorable nephews and nieces. I love my little nieces.
I miss my nephew, but I can't see him. He died.
Oh.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
I was so excited. I was so excited for him to come into the world. My sister was pregnant and everything. We were all excited, and he was a stillbirth.
Oh yeah, that's my ex-wife.
I miscarried my first one, but I didn't even know I was pregnant at the time. So I can imagine what it would have been like to know.
Yeah, she was devastated. I was devastated, and then her boyfriend started blaming her.
No.
And that didn't.
Asshat. I'd have punched him in the face.
If I was there, I'd have punched him in the face. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like too much of a tough guy, but I'm not afraid to punch people in the face.
I'm not afraid to stab people, so if I punch you in the face, I'm letting you off easy.
No, assault I can get away with. Generally, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is gonna get you 5 to 10 or something.
If they never find the body, they're just a missing person.
That's true, but I watch CSI, and even though I don't think they do half that shit, I can't risk it.
Well, okay, so what they do is they take what the best police precincts have as far as technology, and they consolidate it all into one show where you have this kick-ass team of people that have every technology, even the fringe ones that they're still working on, available to them. Fuck off with that.
Yeah, they got shit that the FBI is still trying to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, no. We are not talking about how to get away with murder. I am the King 48. That's not what my stream's about.
We're not talking about that at all, but on a side note, where do you live? I am the King 48.
I got some lie for you, Pat.
I found this old untraceable ice pick that I've been waiting to do something with.
Okay, so I think we could solve a lot of problems with gun control with one law. You need to fire your gun into one of those fire chambers, and the bullet needs to be analyzed, and your gun's ballistic profile needs to be stored along with your registration for the gun. That way, when they look at the bullet of somebody that got shot, it can trace right back to the owner.
Yeah, it's weird to me that they don't do that already, since they fingerprint children in school.
Bullshit,
Right.
You don't even have to register your gun. You can have guns, they don't have to fucking know about it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the black market will still exist, but
I'm
my guns are my fucking guns. It ain't none of nobody else's business what I got. Then they know how to fight against me.
But I mean,
if it's the government you're fighting, it's a problem if they know for sure what you got. That's why they want to register you in the first place. Fuck them.
They tried that and the NRA flipped out, huh? I didn't know that. I do not agree with not registering guns. I do, especially assault rifles and guns that can do a lot of damage very quickly. I think those should be registered. But I don't think you should regulate them to the point of people not being able to get them. You should just make it very easy to track who killed somebody. That's what should be done.
It's already very easy to track who killed. Well,
okay with that.
I'm not, because fuck them. I also think that we should be able to carry fucking swords. What makes them think they have the right to stop me from open carrying a sword?
Yeah,
I do agree with you there. If I want to walk down the street with a claymore, that's nobody's business.
Exactly.
Well, I would walk down the street with a katana, fully sharpened. Fuck with me. I dare you. I know how to use it.
Well, I've got a claymore. Fuck with me. I don't need to know how to use it. It's 35 pounds.
Right. Just swing and something's coming off.
Just really carry whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I just think if you should be able to identify the gun that it came out of by looking at the rifling on the bullet.
Yeah.
So
we'll still have
being able to identify the gun it came out of doesn't exactly tell you who shot it, though.
No, it's.
But if that person didn't report that their gun was stolen, then it's pretty shady.
What if they didn't notice their gun was stolen? That happens sometimes because people lock up their guns and then don't pay attention to them until they need them. Their teenage kid goes, manages to get in, gets their gun, fucking sells it, gets them some weed. Gun's gone.
Yeah.
I'd say if they're selling their parents' gun, it's a bit harder than weed, but I get your point.
The rifling would match a few thousand guns with that twist rate. Then why do they use rifling as evidence in court cases? The rogue thread.
Because they're okay with semi-flimsy evidence as long as it sounds good.
Well, that is a fact.
Huh.
Also, did you know? Well, I'm not actually sure this is 100%, but I heard in a study, but there's a lot of studies out there that are fake, that your fingerprints actually are not unique. There are other people out there with the same fingerprints as you.
Yeah, it's like 1 in a million or something like that, though. Like, you'd have to, and even DNA testing is only like within.
I had heard that they were
200,000 people.
Yeah, DNA testing too, but I had heard they were closer when they were measuring people's like ear. They used to judge your identity based on your ear, and that's what I had heard, that was closer to identifying somebody than your fingerprints are. But
well,
like
the rogue
said,
thread
all
said
that shit's fake nowadays.
Rifling is shit evidence. I haven't fact checked that, but if that is true, then yeah, I don't see why anybody should be put away based off of rifling evidence and even fingerprint evidence. I mean, if you were just there at some time and your fingerprint never got wiped, then you're a suspect.
Well, I think it all depends. Like, everything is situational, you know? If you look at that case of the mom in Texas, that they were certain that she was the one that had killed her kids. They were like asleep on the couch, and she woke up to someone attacking them, and she tried to chase them out of the house, and the cops were just so certain it was her. But there was a fingerprint that wasn't hers or anybody in the family's in the house. And other evidence like that. If you find that kind of shit, then that is reasonable doubt. She should not have been in jail. And they've proven she didn't do it, and she's still in jail. Or, well, last I'd heard, she was still in jail.
Some guy just got released recently for he was in prison for like 24 years, and new DNA evidence comes out that proves that he's innocent, and he got released. They didn't give him shit. They gave him $350 for a bus. That's what they gave him.
That's how it works.
That's actually not unheard of. That's
and like a suit of clothes usually.
Probably just like the 30th one of those I've heard in the last 5 or 6 years.
They do it all the damn time. And if you turn around and sue them to try and get what you're owed for them falsely imprisoning you and shit, then they're going to give you all kinds of fucking trouble.
Yep.
Either the alleged victim comes forward and says this didn't actually happen, and which, by the way, nothing happens to the alleged victim after that.
Yeah.
Or new evidence will surface and prove them innocent. Like, it happens a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, once is really a ridiculous amount, but
yeah.
They also
24 years in prison. 24 years in prison, and you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Ruined his life. He doesn't know how to cope with the world anymore.
What about that guy that they literally forgot in solitary confinement for 19 years? He wasn't even supposed to be in jail that long. They forgot he was in there.
Oh, fuck.
Like,
I bet you he's nuts now.
You know, he was just getting fed along with the other prisoners, and that was it. Nobody fucking noticed or cared.
Wow.
He got out, his hair and his nails were so long, he looked horrible.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay, well, we're definitely tapering down now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an end to this. If you guys will stick around after I go offline, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I do want to thank you guys for joining me. Everybody who's watching, thank Amanda for joining me, and Pat here. Thank you.
Thanks for
having me.
And thank you everybody again for joining. Like I said, try and tweet Sumo Psychos, get them to pay attention. We can have them on the spike. And also make sure, if you're not following me on Twitter, to follow me on Twitter at Brad_Impaler. I do have a Patreon now. I have a Patreon only feeds already up, so make sure you go to my Patreon and donate to that, because I'm struggling here. All right. Other than that, thank you everybody. Get the hell out of here.